Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.
Welcome to Harry Potter and the Anxious Millennials, a show where we delve week by week into each chapter of the Harry Potter series.
Hello, Adam. There's some new things happening over there for you. Some good, some bad.
Oh, yes. Yes. I am freshly, like today is the first day I'm technically allowed to leave the house because I already got, and dear listeners, got COVID.
Finally.
So, I had never gotten it,
gotcha.
allegedly. I had never gotten it in the past 3 years. Obviously, who knows?
Crazy.
Anytime I've ever tested, I've never tested positive, let's say that. And I pretty much I've tested for
Yeah, I feel like you're pretty good about.
pretty much anything where I was like, oh, I feel sick.
Yeah.
Now, I have like nonstop allergies pretty much all the time. Mostly because
There's
I live
part of
with
you that like second guesses a lot if you're sick or not.
I live with a dog and I'm allergic to dogs, so that's like my own downfall.
Isn't he hypoallergenic?
Yes, but that just means they have lower allergens. That doesn't mean they have none.
Oh, they still have allergens if you have an allergy to dogs. You
Yes,
still
yes.
like, oh, okay. I never knew that.
Yep. But so I guess at any point I could have, but I've never felt like this before. So maybe I haven't had it. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But I saw Miss Corona and I beat her. I beat her.
And I
whooped
beat her.
her ass.
Well, she kind of whooped your ass a little bit too.
Okay, well, a little bit. Okay, all right.
Well, I'm glad that you're on the up and up, it sounds like. And thank God it didn't happen the week of KCON because y'all would have been devastated. I would have been devastated for you. Yeah. Let's not even think about it.
It would have been so bad.
This week, we read chapter 28 called Snape's Worst Memory. Adam, please tell us what happens in this chapter.
Dolores is officially instated. I feel like I don't know words anymore. Dolores is officially she's the headmaster.
Headmistress.
Headmistress. And Harry goes into the Fred and George have a good time doing something. And then Harry goes into the pensieve. Snape's pensieve specifically.
Very good, Adam. Even with your COVID-affected brain.
Are they two
COVID
different
does affect your brain.
pensives? Do they share a pensieve? Does
It's
each
got to
person
be
get a pensieve?
No, it's got to be like the invisibility cloak girl. We talked about this. There's got to be like 3.
I have a
in the
hot take
world.
about the pensieve,
4.
and I think it's actually bad to do this.
Which is what you think? What is bad to put your memories in there?
To then relive the trauma of your memories over and over and over, because you're not recontextualizing them. You're literally just watching. Like Snape is just going and watching himself get beat up by James every day for his like entire life.
I don't think he's
not like
watching it though.
reframing it. Well, then what's the point of doing it?
I don't think he's watching it. I think he's removing it from his head. Harry's the only one that's watching it, girl.
But then, like, what?
Why is it in there?
Yeah, then I don't.
So it's not in his head. He's short-term memory lossing himself.
Dumbledore will like use his to like go and like look back at his memories and like find stuff like that.
But they both are physically going into the pensieve when that happens, remember? It's not him taking it out, and because Snape is like using it to like remove them from his mind. Mm-hmm. Where when Harry and Dumbledore are doing it, they're actively going into the memories to like for research purposes.
Yeah, but you don't think that Snape's doing that too? I mean, I know we don't see it, but you don't think he is?
No, girl. Yeah, right. That man never looks at that memory ever again. He's actively
I don't know. I think there's a lot of memories in there that Snape probably goes and looks at. Anything to do with Lily.
Well,
I'm sure he
Lily,
just goes to
maybe.
look at it because it was Lily. Also, the reason I think he would go to look at this one is not because of what happens. I can't believe we're getting this into it, but
Yeah, right.
I think he would go look. I would think he would go look at this one because he would realize that is the moment where he fully soured his relationship with Lily Evans. And he would. That is the one thing he regrets from this whole thing. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that I think this memory he's actively avoiding. Because it's like, exactly what you said. It's like what he's most ashamed of. Yeah. So I don't think that he's revisiting this one. Is he probably revisiting certain memories of Lily specifically? That one it surprised me. I just think with this situation, agree to disagree. You think he's re-traumatizing himself. I think he's avoiding revisiting this memory because he doesn't want to hold himself accountable to what he did to Lily in this.
I think this memory is a great way for him, if he ever feels bad about himself, to go back and be like, but it's all just because I was bullied.
Oh, right. Yeah.
To reinforce that it's okay that I hate Harry Potter because James was once mean to me. And James was once... this is horrifying.
It's horrible. No, yeah. I think that it's very intentional that we don't like James and we feel for Severus.
Lots of people are bullied and they don't
turn out like that. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, Snape.
No one is good in this chapter except for Lily Evans. She's the only good character in this whole chapter.
There's like a little bit of a bystander effect happening in this situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into it because I think that's like the main thing. This is just such a big moment in this series, basically.
Yes.
Like there's a lot. And then obviously if you know what happens later on, there's like some nuggets that we need to remember for later too, which I'm curious. Do you remember that there is kind of a deeper explanation of this moment? You probably don't remember that, do you?
No. When does that come?
In the last book.
Oh, a deeper explanation.
From Snape's perspective.
No.
I don't think it makes up for anything at all.
Cool.
It's literally like if someone like called a girl a slut in front of their friends and then like later was like, "Oh, but I didn't mean it." It's like, yeah,
cool.
but it's like, yeah, but you said it, so.
There is one thing that comes up in the next book in this chapter. Did you catch that?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, so I guess I didn't.
I'll get to it when
Okay.
it's very soon into the chapter. Okay, so the chapter starts and we have a new proclamation. Okay.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Took me a second.
I was like, oh, she had to clock that in real quick just to be like, yeah, it's
just
always
real
been there.
fast. Yeah.
So Dolores Umbridge has officially replaced Albus Dumbledore.
Albus Dumbledore.
As headmistress of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Signed by Cornelius Fudge himself.
Yeah.
This isn't just she instated herself and here's my signature. Honey, this is Cornelius said.
But like, of course that was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's necessarily a big shock. I don't know if that was what she was going for, but it's like, yeah.
I mean, it would have been a shock for every student that woke up the next morning to be like, huh?
That's true,
they
right?
went
if
to
they
bed
didn't,
and they were like,
yeah. Dumbledore's just chilling up there as per usual.
Right. So very, very normal things going on. The information is spread around the school really quickly. No one knows where Albus Dumbledore went, but they somehow all know that Marietta? Yeah, Marietta.
Yeah, I'd say Marietta.
And Harry were the only students privy to what happened in the headmaster's office. But because Marietta's still in the hospital wing being tended to by Madame Pomfrey because she has boils and pus all over her face, everyone is going and being like, Harry, what happened?
I do want to say, I don't. Marietta is a student. I don't think that this should have just like been on her face for like the rest of her life, which we're led to believe it's just going to be there forever.
Yeah.
I don't really like that.
No,
I think maybe if there was like a month of it being there, fine. But I was like, I think they talk about it in the next book that she like wears like concealer over it. I know. I think she just like has it. And I don't like that. So Hermione, sorry, girl.
Oh, no.
I know, isn't that bad? I was like, I understand that she's a snitch. And that's not cool that she did that to everyone. But I was like, but also, well, she's a kid.
We have to talk about it because Cho is going to come have an argument about it. So we'll get to it. Meanwhile, Draco has a new title. Okay. It's giving Inquisitorial Squad.
He's so obnoxious.
He takes away...
Adam, are you still a Draco apologist at this point in time?
Yeah, of course.
I'm just curious. I just wanted to ask. I hadn't asked in a while.
I think he's the best character in this book series.
He is so obnoxious.
He's
though.
such
Like
a brat.
this moment where he's, oh my God.
Yeah. He comes up and he's like, because Hermione's bad mouthing Dolores Umbridge, and he's like, tut. Watch what you say. I'm gonna be deducting some house
heard that.
points.
Exactly.
So he deducts house points from Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Ernie Macmillan, who is someone that they had been talking to at the time. And then he also deducts another 10 points from Hermione for just being a mudblood.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So it's going really well at Hogwarts. This is because he's been made Inquisitorial Squad. Him and, I don't know, others. We're assuming Crabbe, Goyle, Pansy Parkinson probably. There's not like
all
a full,
the Slytherins.
Yeah, there's not like a full list, but...
Crabbe and Goyle, I don't know. I think they're just like
so?
dumb as a box of rocks. So
Sure.
I don't even think that she's going to give them that. But maybe.
That title?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely Draco and Pansy for sure.
So normally prefects cannot deduct house points from other prefects.
Right.
That's not how it works. It's probably head boy, head girl.
Understandable.
Which is probably the
For
only
this
people allowed to
exact
do it.
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, head
hello.
boy and head girl, I think, can.
And then, but no, that's how we learn he's Inquisitorial Squad, which just means he's extra important. It doesn't actually mean anything.
Yeah.
He's a little lapdog.
It means he's in, yeah, exactly. He's in Umbridge's pocket. That's what it means.
Fred and George almost got some of their house points removed, but they shoved... Oh, Montague is one of the people who's also been made Inquisitorial Squad.
Right, yeah. So I guess maybe Fred and George, or I'm sorry, Fred and George. I guess Crabbe and Goyle could be, yeah. But yeah, Fred and George pushed
him into, you know, the vanishing cabinet on
Casual.
the first floor.
Yeah.
So we don't know when he's going to come out.
That sounds like a drag
again.
club, the Vanishing Cabinet.
That's a great name for a club.
Cauldron Bottoms performing tonight at the Vanishing Cabinet.
Or like a speakeasy bar where you it's like a hidden...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Adam.
Yeah.
Come on. Make this happen. Clock is ticking.
So just remember the Vanishing Cabinet.
Just
period.
remember that for later, for next book.
Currently, it's on the first floor.
The first floor.
Yes.
At this point in time.
At this point in time, it is
Okay.
on the first floor. But, you know, things move, you know.
Yeah.
Things get changed around room to room.
I guess.
Fred and George warn Harry, Ron, and Hermione to get to the Great Hall for lunch because they're over this bullshit, girl. They said, I don't give a fuck anymore.
They are checked out.
They were like, we were only here because Dumbledore was headmaster, and honestly, now that he's not, we're going to blow this popsicle stand. They don't know what this means, and Hermione's like, I don't know.
I think we should go. And Ernie, did you see Ernie? Ernie was like, I'm not getting in trouble. He was like,
right.
Pew!
He was like, I have transfiguration homework to do.
Yeah.
So he runs away. Right at this moment, Filch comes up, and he's like, Dolores wants to see you.
Yeah.
So he takes him to Umbridge's office.
Confirmation of what you said earlier, that you were like, I think she would be more comfortable with like a squib because she knows what the squib's place is in the hierarchy. earlier we were talking about that you were like,
Yes.
I feel like she'd be more comfortable with that, or like a house elf or whatever, because it's like there is an established hierarchy kind of
I
within
see.
the
Yes,
wizarding
yes.
world. And I feel like this is confirmation
that I
of
said
that.
that.
Like the fact that Filch essentially is just going to do whatever she wants him to do, and he himself doesn't have any magic, you know, to like overthrow her. I think that she, of course, wants him to be like her little lackey.
She's clearly more powerful than him.
Yeah, so she's like, yeah, great.
Yeah. He is talking to Harry on the way, and he's like explaining to Harry that things are going to change. Dumbledore's always been too soft. He's finally going to be able to like string students up by their like thumbs or whatever. Now he does say one thing that Dolores intends to implement that I agree with. Okay. Which is she's asked the minister to sign an order for the expulsion of Peeves.
Oh,
and you
right.
know what?
You know what? Anti-Peeves.
Get this queen
him
out of
there.
here.
Get this queen. Send him off to the vanishing cabinet with
Thank you.
cauldron bottoms, okay?
With cauldron bottoms. He goes into... So she is not in the headmaster's office. There was a bit earlier where she apparently can't get into the headmaster's office.
Yeah, I loved that.
The
I was
gargoyles
like, you
won't let her
you don't
in.
deserve to be in there. You weren't like rightly chosen.
Right. So he meets her in her regular office, except now she just has a placard at the end of her desk that says headmaster. So she got that headmistress. So she got that
She's
quick.
so obnoxious. Yeah, she had that like on standby girl. That was in her
Yeah.
little Amazon cart ready to go.
Yes, honey. Same
Amazon
day
Prime,
deliv.
2-day shipping. Yeah, same day. Same day delivery.
So she's like, have a seat. She writes whatever she's writing, like a letter. Who knows? She's writing something. And then she's like, what would you like to drink, Harry? Coffee, tea, pumpkin juice? And he's like, nothing. And she's like, I'd really like it if you had a drink with me. So he relents. Harry relents, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll have a tea, fine. And he notes that she makes a very big show of facing away from him to pour his milk into his tea. Mm-hmm. It's actually so obvious that the fact that it takes Harry this long, I'm like, girl.
Just put some milk in there.
Girl. So, so then anyway, she's like, anyway, enjoy your tea, take a sip.
She's like, you're not drinking it.
You're not drinking
Drink that
the
tea.
I made the tea for you.
Drink that tea.
And then once he like has a thought where he's like, Moody would shoot me. If
Yeah,
he knew
I
that
was thinking that right away. I was like,
Hello?
this is Moody's nightmare.
Yeah. So he was like, I shouldn't drink the tea. So then what he does is he does the classic like, lips pursed, not drinking anything. And then immediately she's like, so where's Albus Dumbledore?
Yeah, girl did not even wait.
No.
Is that how Verita serum works? That like touches your tongue and then you're like, I will tell you my deepest secrets. Yeah, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
She asks him where Dumbledore is. He says he doesn't know, which this is all true. I mean, I guess he could assume.
Yeah, he doesn't know where he is.
That
We
he
don't ever
might be
really
at-
find out where he went.
He might be at the Order, but probably not, honestly.
No, I think he's just off doing his own thing.
I think he's just on vacation in Mallorca, honestly.
Yeah, he went to Majorca.
And then she's like, fine, where is Sirius Black? And this one, obviously, Harry does know where Sirius Black is.
Yeah.
But
So he
even if
rattles his little teacup.
But even if he said it, they wouldn't be able to find it.
Because he's not the secret keeper.
He's not the secret keeper.
Yeah. That's
So-
how it works, I believe.
Hello?
Isn't that the whole gig?
Like, they would know that house would be there, but they would not be able to, the house would not come to fruition for them.
Which is what happens later. I mean, that does happen later on, where it's like the Death Eaters go and like watch number 12 Gamal Place, but they can't get in.
Right. So he's like, no, I don't know where Black is. And she's like, you and I both know that Sirius fucking Black, his little fucking head was in the Gryffindor fireplace. And I almost
True.
snatched him out with my little
I
piggly
almost
wiggly
snatched
fingers.
his wig, girl.
Snatched it clean off.
Snatched that wig right off his head.
And he's like, no, I actually have no idea who you're talking. Sirius who? I'm sorry, what's the name? It
What was
doesn't ring
that?
a bell for me. I'm sorry. I've never heard of this person. So feeling defeated. Oh no. She also reveals, sorry, I meant to say this. She also reveals that everything coming in and out of Hogwarts is being watched. So officially, the flus are all being monitored,
Yeah.
except for her flu.
Right,
In
which I was
her
like,
office.
girl, you really just said that out loud?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Isn't that stupid?
She's dumb. This is what
That's always the villain's downfall, though, isn't it?
They just
get
talk.
like too overconfident. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they reveal too much.
the flus are monitored. All of the owl post going in and out is being read by the inquisitors.
Inquisitorial squad.
Inquisitorial
Those people?
squad. Mhm.
Okay.
And Filch is watching all secret passages in and out of the school. Slay.
So, like,
So she's got her bases
but this is what I'm
covered.
saying. He's literally just like her lackey. Like he's doing all the work for her.
Right.
Ugh.
And then all of a sudden, they are interrupted by a ginormous boom coming from far away. The floor below. She runs out immediately to go see what happened. And Harry follows after. And they both discover that a huge assortment of enchanted fireworks have been
Yeah.
unleashed upon Hogwarts.
Yeah. Love it. They're
And
everywhere.
They're everywhere, and they don't end. They're just like continuous
Yeah.
fire. They're all day fireworks.
Yeah.
And if you try to like stun them, it just makes it worse. Apparently, if you try to vanish them, it like quadruples the amount that there are.
Yeah. So what is that? So those must be like enchantments that, or like a charm that they put on the fireworks, right? Because I'm like, that's incredible.
Right.
Like they're literally, they need to be co-valedictorians.
Yes. Well, I don't think they're gonna make it to.
No, but like
Graduation,
they're
but-
just, it's like they are so
Yes.
intelligent.
Yeah, I know.
They're so gifted. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, hello.
And Harry ducks into a closet where he finds the twins, like kiki kaka haha,
Caca.
and they tell him about like what they did or whatever, and that it's basically gonna be all. That's all they're gonna do today is try to like get these fireworks out of here because they're just
Yeah.
gonna keep going everywhere. It's very funny because the school day has to continue. This is very different from the movie, by the way. This is
Oh
extremely
yeah, yeah. I
different
mean, the
from
movie, it's like 5 seconds basically, and then they're
Right.
gone.
They'll just like the fireworks will just like end up in a classroom, and so all the teachers are just being like, "Oh, I guess I have to call Umbridge for her to take care of it."
Oh man,
Oh God, criminy.
that's too bad.
And so at one point, like she comes and helps Filch clear out some sparklers from her classroom, from his classroom, and he's like, "Thank you,
Flitwick.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Flitwick.
Flitwick. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he like thanks her when she's leaving, and he's like, I just wasn't sure if I was allowed to do this on my own. And then like slams the door in her face, which is so funny.
I didn't know if I had the authority.
After the fun, frivolous day, everyone has celebrated Fred and George in the Gryffindor common room. Hermione has even been like, you know what, girl? Let's take a night off homework. So you know
I know.
You know it's good
She's
vibes.
like, whatever, we got time.
Yeah.
She's feeling very rebellious, Hermione.
Yes, she is. So then later Harry goes to bed. And he has another fucking dream about this fucking corridor. Except this time, he has made it through the corridor. He's made it through the circular room. He's made it through the rectangular room. And now we're just naming shapes, honestly. And now he's in the trapezoid room. And now he's in the rhombus room.
Rhombus.
so then he ends up in a room where there's a bunch of like cabinet or like shelves
Yeah.
with glowing orbs lining the walls, basically.
Right.
And he is like searching for one. He's searching for one of them, potentially.
Yeah, I guess.
And then right when he feels like he's about to find it is when he is awoken by a scream from Seamus Finnegan, who's like, whoa, the fireworks outside have made it.
That was weird. But also, Adam, whose point of view? Whose POV is this, girl?
I don't even know anymore. Because it didn't
Is this Voldemort?
I don't know. Is he
Is
there
this Voldemort
currently?
planting a vision?
That's what it felt like to me because it was so smooth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
I'll believe that. I buy that.
The way it was written, it was like Harry was like gliding through the corridor. He was gliding through the. I know it's not written that way, but the way it's like everything
So
just like
yeah.
worked out so perfectly that I was like,
yeah, maybe you're right then. Mm-hmm. Okay.
because maybe Voldemort has gotten that far, so he knows the order of the rooms. So it can all feel correct. He's not making anything up at this point.
Yeah.
Except for he just doesn't know where to find the fucking
Right. Yeah.
prophecy.
Because I don't know if they know at this point that Harry has to be the one to grab it since it's about him. Like he has to be the one to physically take it. And so I don't know if they know that. And so that's why oh, sorry. So he's like planted this memory, or I'm sorry, he's planted this misleading vision of like leading him directly to it, or if it, I don't know.
But
if
then
he himself has gotten that close, and that's what Harry's seeing.
Right. But then Harry wakes up and like it's happened a few times before. This is probably the most obvious it's been. He's like very frustrated.
Yeah.
That he is not able to like achieve what he was going to do in his like little vision.
Right.
So the next day rolls around, and he has occlumency lessons with Snape that night.
Yeah, God, these are still going on.
But like,
sorry, Harry.
Forgot that he was gonna do that, so he hasn't been practicing. So
he's had too much going on. Apparently, there's just too much happening.
He's a very busy boy. So he's on his way to occlumency. And Cho spots him like in the entrance hall, and she's like, "Come here,
come over here."
And she like first and starts this conversation by being like, "I'm so sorry, I would have never brought Marietta if I had known that she was gonna do that." Blah blah blah. And then Harry immediately is like, "Yeah, well, your fucking friend's a slag." He doesn't say that. And she gets super defensive and is like, well, I think it's crazy that Hermione put a counter jinx on that parchment.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm glad she fucking did.
I mean, here's where, let's get real specific here. I don't think Hermione should have told anyone that she put that charm on the thing. I just don't think that it should have stayed forever on the person's skin. I think it's fine because you don't want, what do you be like, oh, well, if you're signing the paper, you better not tell anyone because then this will pop up on, girl, no. Then she just wouldn't sign the paper and would just go and tell anyway. Like, that's not really going to do anything. The way that you're going to know someone tattled on you is exactly by what she did. So, but I just don't think it should have lasted forever. I do think it's funny, though, that Cho was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't think she would tell anyone. And then immediately is like, she's really a wonderful person. Like, I just am like, girl, you know that. Are you for real? You're really going to try that right now?
I mean, I feel bad for Marietta. She didn't want to be there. She was a third wheel to all these fucking Harry Cho awkward fucking moments.
The point about her mom working for the ministry, I agreed with that. That I was
Super
like, oh, well,
valid.
yeah, duh. Like,
Yeah.
once again, she is a kid. So
Right.
she's just feeling the pressure of like this situation where her mom works and stuff like that.
Totally.
But I just thought, I was like, Cho, it's obviously not going to go over well if you're like, she's really great. This person that just told on us.
Yeah.
You would love her.
You should get to know her.
Yeah, yeah.
She's swell. Do you know the book Go Dog Go? Ari. It's a quintessential children's book.
Is Go Dog Go the Dr. Seuss one?
It's Dr. Seuss adjacent. It's not written by Dr. Seuss, but it has a similar aesthetic.
It's all the dogs in the cars.
It's all the
right?
dogs in the cars, yeah. Anyway, in the book, there's two dogs, and the one dog says, "Do you like my hat?" And the other says, "No, I do not like your hat." And the first dog says, "Goodbye," and the second dog says, "Goodbye." And that is this Harry Cho conversation where it's just like, "I don't like you either. Goodbye." And then they both like run away.
Yeah, and she gets all weird about Hermione again.
Correct.
I was like, okay.
Well, because Harry has
Here we are again.
assured her that Hermione is like
No,
the
he
ugliest
hasn't.
person at school, which is what obviously
Not
he
that.
needs to do.
He hasn't assured her that they're just friends. I mean,
Right.
Harry, to be fair, Harry does not handle this situation well either. I do think that like his communication skills.
He needs to go to school for his schools.
He needs to go to, he needs to be schooled in some communication. His communication skills are just like shit. They
Yeah,
are not good.
they're
so
not good at
He has
all.
none. Yeah, they don't exist.
So Harry goes down to occlumency lessons, and immediately Snape's like, "You're fucking late. Have you practiced?" Harry was like, "Shh, yeah, totally."
And he's like looming over the bowl
Yeah.
while he's saying this.
And he's like, "Fine, let's get started," and is about to like legilimens. Okay.
Yeah.
And Malfoy walks in right at this moment. Okay, if you were Malfoy,
Couple of things.
and you walked in, and Snape
There's
was
this big
pointing
glowing bowl.
There's a big glowing bowl, and Snape is pointing his wand at Harry, and then they're
And
like,
Harry's just standing there.
Harry's just standing there, and then they're like, "Oh, he's doing remedial potions lessons." Would you believe that?
No, at least have some potion stuff out. Harry, you should have brought your potion kit.
Have a cauldron just out in the room, girl.
Is it enough that they're in his office, but that doesn't have any like potions related stuff? There's not, the cauldrons in this book are supposedly like huge. Like how would he even believe? I wouldn't believe that.
I mean,
I'd be
ignore that. Snape is pointing his wand
Yeah.
at Harry. Like, I would be
Yeah.
like, what?
Oh,
Sorry.
must have interrupted something.
Let me knock.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, I'll go back out and come back in. Just a second.
So he comes in to tell Snape that they found Montague after he had been vanished in the vanishing cabinet. And he's stuck in a toilet on the 4th floor. And so Snape is like, "We're rescheduling for tomorrow night. Goodbye, Harry." And they leave.
Adam, how did he appear in a toilet?
What does it mean? What does stuck in a toilet mean? What does
I was
that
imagining
mean?
like his head or like his leg would have been stuck in a toilet. Was it the actual cabinet? Did the cabinet reappear with him in it? He went into the cabinet and then appeared.
Doesn't the cabinet? Doesn't it go to the other cabinet?
The other cabinet.
Right?
Yeah, I just didn't really understand that. I was like, well, how did he end up there?
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense to me.
No. Maybe she hadn't thought that hard about it yet.
Story of these books.
Well, there you go. So they leave, and Harry's like, "Fine. At least I get 24 hours to practice occlumency before
Yeah, Saved by the Bell, Harry.
I get, legilimens to death tomorrow." But you know what? He just can't help himself, can he? He notices the big bowl, and he's like, the color, the light, it reminds me of the orbs in my dream. And the da. And he's like,
Shut up.
thank you. And he's like, he goes over to it. He knows it's a pensive because he was in Dumbledore's last year. So he knows what it is, basically.
Yeah, he knows it's a pensieve.
Yeah. He goes over to it and he like taps it with his wand to stir the little memories, whatever, to stir the fluid. And then it starts to swirl, and he has this moment where he thinks about like Cho, his anger at Cho, his being embarrassed because of like the remedial potions joke that Draco made, and he is like, fuck it, and then just like jumps in, blue skidoos right on into the pensieve.
Yeah, that was a little weird for me. I was like, this is the motivator for you doing that? I don't really get what that has to do with anything.
No,
like,
I don't get it. I get
you're like pissed off right now, but that was a little weird to me. Yeah.
He also is just like, what is Snape hiding? Of all the people in these book series, you know who I don't want to head into the memory hole of? It's fucking Severus Snape.
Why would you?
There is nothing about anything that I would be like, oh, I bet that would be interesting. No.
I'm good.
No,
I don't need to go into that person's head.
That sounds like a bad idea. But he does it anyway. The dream he ends up in is the Defense Against the Dark Arts, OWLs, in whatever year Snape was in 5th year. Okay? That's where they are.
Oh, whatever year. I was like, 5th year, Adam.
Yeah, but whatever.
chronological year in time, yeah.
So he sees Snape. Snape is writing a whole lot on his little scroll. He's written at least a foot more than everybody else around him, and his writing is much smaller.
Tiny
little scribbles. But of course, Harry sees across the room someone else in the class.
Yeah. I mean, this I get to an extent because they look so much alike that if he's seeing his dad who looks just like him, supposedly, I understand why he would be like.
Was Lillian Ravenclaw?
No, girl, she's in Gryffindor.
She's also in Gryffindor? So she should also be in this
there somewhere,
classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that's okay. So he goes over and he sees James, and so he like stands basically like right in front of him, and it's like the first time where he's like, wow, we look exactly the same. We have the same hairs that stick up on our head. We have blah blah blah.
We have the same hairs.
We have the same hairs. And he doesn't have the scar, but I do.
No scar.
And James doesn't wear
Why
glasses.
are we we're the cone kid? The cone. It's Cone.
Oh, Cone.
Kid. Yeah. We sound like the Cone kid.
So he is just like watching, and then he notices like Sirius is over there. There's Lupin. There's Wormtail. The whole gang's here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Someone we haven't noticed. His mother. It's fine. She's got to be in the fucking room. She's got to be in the room.
Yeah, she's in there. I had that same thought. I think it's just for the reveal, right? Of like her being appearing, coming to Snivelus's rescue.
Sure. And it's also like, was I surprised that Harry wasn't looking for his mother?
Yeah, I know.
No, I wasn't.
That's exactly what I was
at all.
thinking. I was like, of course he's only looking for like the boys.
So, the test ends, the exam ends. They hand everything into Flitwick. And then I was like, is Flitwick Defense Against the Dark Arts? Or is it just like a random teacher just watches the room during the exam? Like, it doesn't have to be the corresponding subject teacher. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I think he must have just been the one that was on test-taking duty.
I forgot to mention, he had James on his scroll had drawn a snitch and was now tracing the letters L-E. What did they stand for? Harry wondered to himself.
Harry. We can't help you.
This is actually deeply embarrassing. This is actually so embarrassing for you, baby.
How do you not know your mom's last name? You're a loser.
It's the same last name your aunt. You would know. This is
somehow.
You have to know this. This isn't. Petunia's like parents would be like Grandma and Grandpa Evans.
Evans,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They
It is weird that we never hear about the Evans. Like their parents.
Yeah.
Like we never hear about them.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
only
like,
hear
they're
about
young enough
James's
that they
side.
shouldn't have passed away. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
But they're the non-magical side. So it doesn't fucking matter.
We don't care about them.
They don't care.
But we're the Potters too. Like we just never hear about it. I'm like, I
Yeah.
feel like she could have told us more about that.
They would have to be dead.
Yeah, they're
Because
all dead. But that's what I'm saying. That I'm like,
they would have to
convenient.
have. He would have gone to the grandparents before he would have gone to an aunt.
Yeah. But maybe, the
Doesn't
Potters, yeah, it's just convenient. But that's why I'm like, that's fine. They can be dead.
Yeah, of
but
course.
you just have to
of course
touch
they
on
can
it.
be dead. We want them to be dead.
You just have to touch on what happened at one point so we know.
Yeah. Just mention it in passing, woman.
Yeah,
Dear God.
like you do with other things.
So they leave. Snape is like walking. He's reading an essay question or an exam letter, something like that. He's engrossed in it. So he's following pretty closely to the Marauders. So Harry's able to like listen to the Marauders' conversation because Sirius's memory isn't going off the path.
Snape's memory.
Sorry, Snape. Sorry. There are too many characters with the same letter.
Yeah.
They joke about a question on the test. Question number 10 was about werewolves and how to spot them. So that's very...
Hey.
And then they all get out to the lake. The Marauders sit under the tree that has been referenced before, right by the water. Right. And then Snape is sitting off in, like, the grass. So they're just chilling, and they notice that Severus is just sitting by himself. And James is like, now's my chance. Okay, let me step out of this. James sucks.
Yeah.
Because nothing happens for this to happen.
No. He doesn't provoke them in this moment in any way.
Yeah.
And that's what it's weird. Like, we're not going to go into it on this podcast, obviously, but like Adam and I have shared with each other moments when we were in high school that we were like, oh my God, why did we do that? That was so stupid. But I'm just thinking of like something that is this humiliating someone in this way, like doing this. It's just so.
It seems so
cruel.
Personal. Yeah.
And it's like they're just sitting there minding their own business and you're like really going out of your way to like humiliate them.
Yeah.
It's just really bad.
So they go over.
I don't know what to say.
No, it's bad. They go over and they call him Snivelus?
Snivelus, yeah.
Snivelus. Because one of the things that keeps coming up is like jokes about his nose. Severus's nose. He's got
his big right. I thought it was like snotty. Like
no,
his nose was
his
runny.
big
yeah,
hooked
because he has
nose.
a big hook nose. Yeah,
right. Which I don't want to say like anti-Semitism, but like something about nose stuff. I'm always like, oh, can we not? Can we not? So they trade a bunch of like spells back and forth. Well, first of all, they don't even trade spells. I wouldn't even say they trade spells. Severus goes to like pull out his wand and they immediately Expelliarmus it. And then they impedimenta him. And then it's all happening. Finally, out of nowhere, Lily Evans comes up and is like, hey.
Leave him alone.
Pop. Pop?
Pop.
Girly pop.
Girly pop.
And so immediately James is like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. And she's like, ew, ew, enough.
Yeah.
And so they make him, at one of the spells they made Severus cough up is soap bubbles. They scourgify his mouth, so he's like vomiting soap. What's going on?
It just is like nonstop. It's bad.
Many of the surrounding students, I wrote this sentence down. Many of the surrounding students laughed, Sirius and Wormtail included, but Lupin, still apparently intent on his book, didn't, and nor did Lily. These are the only two good characters in this entire sequence, and I'm going to spoiler alert, both of them die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's true.
Cool.
Awesome.
Actually, Snape, too. Snape also dies, if we want to include him as one of the people who's not being an asshole in this moment. In this moment specifically. Snape sends back a spell that, like, causes James to, like, draw blood, or, like, draws blood somehow. It, like, gashes his face. Mm-hmm. Did you understand this spell? I don't know what it was.
No.
I just knew there was blood.
It doesn't say
blood
what
happened.
He said.
And I was like, what is this? Anyway, he sends a spell who draws blood. So then Sirius, and I thought it was Sirius or maybe it was James, one of them lifts Severus in the air upside down so that his robes fall. And then his like legs and underwear, his underwear that are like dingy and graying are shown. And then I had the realization that this can only work if they are not wearing anything under their robes.
Under the robes.
I was like, you're not wearing pants? What you mean? What you mean by that? So then Lily ends up saving him by being like, put him down. Don't be an asshole. They have a thing. They make a note about being like, when he gets flipped upside down, Lily looks like she's gonna laugh and then doesn't. And I was like, you didn't need to. I don't know. You didn't have to.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And then they put him down and they say to Severus, you should feel grateful that Lily's here to save you. And he is so incel mad about the idea of a woman saving him.
That's exactly what it is.
It's so that he like lashes out and calls her a mudblood.
He's humiliated that this is happening in front of the girl that he likes. So then he gets mad and takes it out on her. If I could only tell you, Adam, the amount of experiences that I have had with like a man that I was like dating or like a man like where something like this happened, where it's like they're embarrassed or something happened that they're humiliated or they're pissed off or whatever. And then they immediately would like turn to take it out on me. It is so gross. I would say, honestly, I think Michael's probably the only person I've dated that hasn't ever done that to me.
Yeah.
Like every other guy I've dated has done something like that at some point.
Yeah.
Just gross. I mean, it's just gross.
Yeah. So, he calls her mudblood. She like obviously is hurt by it.
Yeah.
The boys freak out and are like, how dare you call her that, blah, blah, blah.
Which that is good.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that there is like, even at like, I shouldn't say even at this time, because it's clear that mudblood has always been like a bad word, but like that it is very quickly, you know, addressed as like, he absolutely should not be saying that word.
Yes.
But it still doesn't, they still shouldn't be picking on Snape, even if he is like not a good person. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It still isn't good. He wasn't.
He's a
doing anything
weirdo.
to you.
He's a
just sitting
loser.
there. Yeah.
But like,
and he sucks.
He wasn't
he
doing
is not a
anything.
good person.
Right.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. Who cares?
Yeah. Don't waste your energy on him. That's what I'd say. I'd be like, the best you can do is just ignore him.
I'm going to read this section of Lily Evans absolutely dragging everybody in the room for filth.
Okay, great.
It's
yeah,
the
let's
best
go.
part of this chapter.
Let's go.
Okay. I'm going to start from, I don't need help from filthy little mudbloods like her. Lily blinked. Fine, she said coolly. I won't bother you in the future. And I'd wash your pants if I were you, Snivelus. Apologize to Evans, James roared at Snape, his wand pointed threateningly at him. I don't want you to make him apologize, Lily shouted, rounding on James. You're as bad as he is. What? Yelped James. I'd never call you a you-know-what. Messing up your hair. This is so funny. Messing up your hair because you think it looks cool to look like you've just got off your broomstick, showing off with that stupid snitch, walking down corridors and hexing anyone who annoys you just because you can. I'm surprised your broomstick can get off the ground with that fat head on it. You make me sick.
Get him, girl.
Get
him,
honey,
Lily.
That's a read.
That's a read, girl. The library is now closed.
Closed. She won the reading challenge.
She did.
I don't know. I will be honest. We don't really get much of past this about Harry or Lily and James. Because how do you go from that to marrying this man?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's quite a leap. Because I just don't really understand. Like, I'm like, I need more information on, like, how they hit it off.
Resolved, yeah.
Also, they're supposedly head boy and head girl, but, like, James isn't a prefect, so how would he have ever become head boy and head girl? Or how would he have become head boy? Lily, yeah.
Can you just skip it?
I don't think so. Maybe that's only in the movies, though. I can't remember. I thought Hagrid said it in the first book, though. I don't know.
So at this point, Harry feels a hand on his arm, and he realizes that Snape has also entered the room. Snape has entered the chat.
Has entered the chat.
And Snape is like, "Oh, are you having fun?" And like looks like he's going to absolutely kill him.
Murder him.
Yeah. And then they like fade out of the memory and they end up back in Snape's office.
Yep.
And he's like, don't you ever tell anyone what you saw. And Harry's like, I will say in this moment, Harry's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's like, I wouldn't tell anyone what I just saw. Definitely will not.
Right. And then like runs out of the room. While he's walking out, a jar of roaches, I think it was, or something like that, explodes above his head.
Right, yeah.
And is it because Snape
threw it at him? Yeah, or like sent it flying at him with his wand. Yeah.
Jesus. And so then runs all the way back to like the common room and is like, I can't believe I just learned that my dad wasn't a really great guy in high school.
Yeah, I was like, he was just as conceited as
Snape
always told him he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you remember?
You know who you could have been standing this whole time, Harry? Your mom.
Your mom! Hello!
How do you not walk away from that memory and then be like, wow, my mom was so cool? How do you not have that takeaway? How is that not the takeaway?
Infuriate. He doesn't even talk about her, Adam. There is later in this book, he talks to Lupin and Sirius about it, but he also mainly talks about his dad. He doesn't really ask about his mom. It's bad. It's like the fact that he is so focused on.
It's also weird because even
only
in like
his dad,
even in like the gendered nonsense that she puts us through, mother-son relationships are like very notorious.
Yeah,
like they're the
strong.
whole thing. So it's you can't even make the argument of being like, well, you know, it's because he's a man and da da da. Like,
no, it's his mom. He should be the most protective of her.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah,
bizarre.
no, it's crazy. I don't know how he did not walk. There wasn't just one sentence about,
Nothing.
oh my God, my dad was just as conceited as I thought, but wow, my mom was incredible.
Nothing. Also, like,
Disappointing.
whatever gave him the impression that his dad was a good guy? Just because he wanted to believe
the way everyone talked about his parents. I mean, it's just, oh, they were so good. Oh, they were so good. They were wonderful people. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I guess.
Lily, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lily has always been great. Well.
Cool. And that's what you missed on Glee.
Hey! All right, perfect. That wraps up this chapter. Next week, we'll be reading chapter 29, Career Advice. We do have a comment on Spotify from, I don't know if it's AS Young 08 or As Young. As Young 08?
Probably AS Young.
Yeah, AS Young 08?
It was from our
is it
most
not?
recent episode.
Oh my God, I don't know why, but I laughed harder than ever on this episode. Y'all are out of control and I love it. I've left a review on another platform, so you don't have to read this, but sharing the love. Of course we had to read it.
Of course.
Of course. I'm so glad that you laughed harder than ever. I'm trying to remember that episode.
I know, I didn't.
I'm glad it was funny.
I don't remember. I'm so
so
sorry.
bad. Now, since I've started working, I don't watch them. It's so bad. I need to get back on it.
I watch them when I edit them, but I edit them on like 2 times speed. So I'm like,
yeah.
we're just like,
Yeah. Thank you very much for your comment, AS Young 08. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we can get a perfect newt score, or else you'll have a shining moment, and the person will just be talking about their dad instead of you.
He sucks.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at HPAnxious or YouTube and TikTok at The Ampliverse. We are hosted on Spotify for podcasters, so thank you to them and are a proud member of The Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Ari.
And as always, Team Lily Evans.
100%.